Thanks to advances in medicine and technology, millions of people each year bear their arms to fight influenza with a safe and effective defense: vaccination. But it wasn't always this way. It took decades to develop protection against this once feared public health threat that claimed more victims than combat during World War I. Scientists had to find a way to grow large quantities of viruses, prepare hundreds of millions of doses of vaccines, and make them commercially viable. It's a complex process that for Sanofi Pasture, the world's largest producer of influenza vaccine, all begins with an egg. Eggs are the basis for the more than 458 million doses of flu vaccine produced or administered worldwide each year. Egg-based production is a tried and true method that has provided the world with safe, effective, and reliable influenza vaccine for nearly 70 years. At Sanofi Pasture, a chicken egg is packed with promise. Inside each protective shell is a virtual powerhouse. The journey that transforms a single egg into a life-saving bioreactor begins in a henhouse with dedicated genetic stock, producing dedicated breeder and laying flocks exclusively for Sanofi Pasture. Free to roam, roost, and nest, these hens and roosters are constantly monitored. Environmentally controlled temperature and lighting and prescribed food and water allow year-round, high-quality, consistent, vaccine-quality egg production. Access is strictly controlled. Visitors must wear protective clothing and use a sanitizing footbath to protect against any potential contaminants from reaching the birds. This creates the cleanest, healthiest environment for the chicken and her eggs. From nest box to conveyor belt, the eggs are collected, inspected, and transported to incubation houses. Select eggs spend several days in climate-controlled cabinets before being carted off to high-tech inspection machines. Lights shine inside the eggs, illuminating any abnormalities such as cracks, dirt, or size that would make them unsuitable for vaccine manufacturing. The entire process is fully automated, and there are redundant systems for all critical utilities. Eggs that make the grade are disinfected and loaded onto temperature-controlled trucks for their trek to the production facility, where they are inspected as they advance through each step in the process. As chickens are busy laying eggs, 130 national influenza centers in 101 countries are scanning the world to identify the flu strains circulating in their regions. The World Health Organization analyzes the data and recommends specific viruses for vaccine production in both the northern and southern hemispheres. The Food and Drug Administration ultimately determines which viruses will be used in U.S.-licensed influenza vaccines. The World Health Organization coordinates the distribution of the reference or wild virus through special laboratories. The reference labs then develop seed viruses that are delivered to manufacturers. Sanofi Pasture uses the seed viruses to optimize productivity that improves yield so that sufficient vaccine can be produced. The resulting working seed is certified by the FDA before bulk manufacturing can begin. Trucks arrive at Sanofi Pasteur's production facility, delivering an uninterrupted supply of the hundreds of thousands of eggs needed daily, not only to make seasonal influenza vaccine, but also to conduct research on new viral strains and prepare for pandemic purposes. In the inoculation suite, each egg is injected with a single strain of working seed that is prepared on site. After several days of incubation, during which the virus acclimates and multiplies, the eggs move to the harvesting suite. Here, the top of the egg is removed and the live virus is collected from the fluid inside the egg. The fluid containing the live virus is concentrated, centrifuged for clarification, and filtered. During the purification process, the virus is inactivated, split, and sterile filtered. Only a portion of the virus remains in the vaccine, just enough to trigger an immune response, and, contrary to myth, not the flu itself. Fragments from each of the 3 separate viral strains are then combined in appropriate quantities. They are tested to confirm the potency of each strain and transferred to automated filling and packaging areas where the formulated vaccine goes into vials and syringes. Multi-line filling and packaging assures sufficient supplies are available for distribution. Sanofi Pasteur's high-quality standards apply to every step of the process. In fact, 85% of the time it takes to produce vaccine is dedicated to quality testing. A diverse group of professionals, including highly skilled technicians, engineers, biologists, and chemists, work together. Each lot is individually tested by both the company and the FDA to confirm it meets strict scientific and government acceptance criteria, including virus inactivation, sterility, and potency. When vials and syringes are ready, each lot is individually tested and released by both the company and the FDA before shipping. Controlled temperature trucks, designed specifically to transport precious cargo like vaccines and medicines, deliver the packages to Sanofi Pasteur's own distribution centers, where cartons of vaccine are picked, packed, and shipped directly to healthcare providers, including doctors, health systems, community clinics, retail pharmacies, and many other immunization sites. Vaccine is shipped in coolers, packed to maintain specific temperatures, with tracking devices to verify that no deviation occurs during shipment that could compromise the product. Between July and October, in an average season, Sanofi Pasteur directly delivers more than 70 million doses of vaccine to more than 50,000 locations throughout the United States. Unlike other vaccines, the influenza vaccine is updated to include current viruses every year. Yearly vaccination is required to build immunity, which declines over time, against gradual mutations in the virus. Rarely, a major mutation occurs, potentially causing a pandemic. As a global leader in influenza vaccine research and production, Sanofi Pasteur has long been committed to developing vaccines against viruses of pandemic potential. Our history of commitment to raising immunization rates and improving global access to vaccines is evident in our ongoing investments in high-tech production operations, capacity, new technology, and research. Today, vaccines are being developed to meet the unique medical needs of various age groups, and new delivery systems are making vaccines more accessible and efficient to administer. The future promises game-changing technologies like DNA vaccines and ultimately universal influenza vaccines that may provide better protection or reduce the frequency of injections. Each year in the U.S., up to 20% of the population gets the flu, and it's costly. Annual health care costs associated with the flu are an estimated $10.4 billion. Lost productivity accounts for another $6.2 billion. Dose for dose, vaccines are the safest, best, and most cost-effective solution to inhibit the spread of the virus. Every dollar invested saves more than $5 in healthcare expenses. Seemingly simple, but highly sophisticated and technologically advanced, egg-based technology is the foundation for more than 95% of the world's influenza vaccines. As this is unlikely to change significantly in the foreseeable future, Sanofi Pasteur continues to refine and increase productivity of a manufacturing process that just happens to feed on a continuous supply of chicken eggs.